Welcome everyone to another TMB adventure. This time we're attempting to run a half marathon for the very first time for me through the Australian bushland. Whoa, that was straight into a spider web I went, right in my face. We also have a compression bandage in our backpack, just in case we get bitten by a brown snake or something. Just got to be careful not to roll your ankle, because if I roll my ankle out here, help is very far away. Yep, I called it. This is the route I had planned to run. Started at Mount Crosby, running through 17 kilometers of deserted bushland to reach Gold Creek Reservoir, and then an additional 8 kilometers ending at Enoggera Dam. And as you can see, it has some crazy elevation gain, especially in the first 4 to 5 kilometers. I did some additional research after the run and before editing this footage, and it turns out I am actually clinically insane, because my first ever half marathon is right on the threshold as being classed in the most extreme elevation category of mountainous. So needless to say, this is going to push me to my absolute physical and mental limits, and with an unhealthy dose of my own stupidity mixed in, I encountered my first problem not even 5 minutes into this run. Oh, this is ass. So I have a slight problem with my setup. I have this little backpack, and I've run with it plenty of times before, but I've never run with a water bottle in it, because I've never abandoned myself in the Australian bushland before, so I've never really needed to carry water with me. And now it is banging against my lower back like something crazy, and it is not going to be sustainable for the whole run. So at about the 12-15k mark, there's a place called Gold Creek Reserve, and I'm pretty sure that would have a water fountain. So no one tell Burb I'm doing this, but I'm going to empty out like 3/4 of my water, because if I keep going with it how it is, it's just going to smash my lower back and probably like bruise it. So I'm taking a last drink of water. We're going to empty like 3/4 of this out and just keep like an emergency amount. Would not recommend, but I'm a stubborn bastard, so we're going to do it. There you go, that's much better. My lower back is no longer being assaulted by my water bottle. This is suddenly feeling very doable again. So hurdle number 1 has now been overcome, but in order to do so, I had to sacrifice 3/4 of my water, with no opportunity for a refill for at least another 15 kilometers. Will I come to regret such a highly intelligent decision? We'll find out. But first, we have to conquer the approximately 700 meters of elevation gain in the next 4 kilometers or so. Our first trail intersection. Let's consult the map and see which way we need to go. Phone strapped to my arm. We're going right. Here we go. We are now completely off my known trails. I have never taken right at this intersection, so now we are completely into the unknown. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, here is the beginning of the 700-800 meters ascent here, I think. Holy, this is steep. Why can't I be going down there? That'd be nice. Some downhill. The angle that I'm keeping my chest at, you guys are probably getting a nice view of the ground and the ground only. And because of this amazing camera angle and through the power of editing, we are just going to skip ahead to the next point of interest, where you can find me channeling old Grand Duke of York energy and lamenting the fertility of going up just to go down again. Here we go. After every uphill, there's a crazy downhill. We can't just go uphill and stay up. You only go uphill to then immediately go downhill and have to go uphill all over again. That's how the roads and trails work around here. Whether I'm riding my push bike along the road or running or walking these trails, it's always the same. We can't just have a nice ridgeline trail, no. we got to go to the top of a peak, to the bottom of a valley. But that's okay, we're doing this for exercise, right? So pointless up and down is actually not that pointless. Very much helping with the exercise. But it can be a bit mentally and physically draining. Okay lads, we've come up to this intersection here. I consulted my map on my arm, and about 200 meters up here is a place called Little Mermaid Lookout. So even though that is our path off to the right, let's go check out the lookout, shall we? This looks like it's opening up quite nicely. Holy. Wow, definitely worth the detour. I wonder what that reservoir down there is. Is that where we're going? No, that is Lake Manchester that you can see directly ahead of us. I go right past there when I do my bush biking, but we're not going to Lake Manchester today. We're heading off more in that direction where you can't see anything. Well, that was well worth the detour, to say the least. But let's get running again, shall we? Oh, apparently we missed a left-hand turn back here. I didn't see no path. Uh-oh. Surely our mapping app isn't wrong, right? That would be a disaster. Oh, okay, we do have a path here. I just completely ignored it in my freaking exhaustion. So with that, lads, heading downhill now, we are now at the peak of the most significant uphill. There are a few little pain points coming up, but it's mostly downhill all the way until almost the end now. So it's taken us almost an hour to go just over 5 kilometers, which is not on pace with where we want to be, if I'm being perfectly honest. So at this rate, it would take us 5 hours to complete this run, and I only allocated 3 hours with a buffer of 30 minutes because today is Easter Monday and I have lunch with the family at 11:30, which is where I'm vaguely running towards, and Burb will pick me up at the other end and take me to my parents' house. So if I take 5 hours instead of the planned 3, max 3.5, then I'm gonna miss the entirety of lunch pretty much. So now that we're over those crazy uphills right at the start of this run, all packed within the first 5 kilometers, it's time to really put the burners on.
That's right, lads. On top of this being my first half marathon, on top of this frankly unreasonable elevation gain, and on top of me dumping most of my water, I've also given myself an extremely tight deadline in which to complete this run. Let's see how past Taylor was mentally dealing with these pressures.
Already with my Australian audience, running through here definitely reminds me of a television show that used to be on ABC after school finished. Insane that it was being broadcast at prime time for kids, but it was like a horror show set in Australian bushland, where a bunch of friends went out camping and they started getting hunted down by like aliens and like crazy people with guns and stuff. And some of them went missing and shit, and strange runes would show up around their campsite during the night. I think it might have been called Jeopardy. I know that's the name of the game show, which is why I'm doubting myself a little bit. But I think it was called Jeopardy. I'll look it up when I get home and I'll chuck it on the screen if I'm wrong or right. So it turns out this was actually a British TV show about Scottish school children travelling to the Australian bushlands to look for UFOs. This show could honestly get its own video breakdown because it's absolutely bonkers. But just have a listen to the ending synopsis from Wikipedia. The spooky ending left the series on a cliffhanger as past Harry and Lucy encountered the future incarnations of themselves who have returned from the future. Lucy is shocked at the sight of her past self, realizing that two separate versions of her now exist in one timeline, and the red eye virus kicks in, and the series ends with the future of Lucy being uncertain. Like, what even the hell was this TV show? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we were running a half marathon or something. Let's get back to that.
Whoa, some steep downhill. Yep, I called it. I called it as some steep downhill. But we got a nice little slide going there and we saved it. Just a little bit of trauma to the hand, but no broken skin. This is why uphill can be better than downhill. But we caught ourselves in a lovely little slide there. Bloody, the benefits of learning how to ski. You can freaking slide sideways down some dirt and pebbles in Australia. Oh, hello. This is bloody well steep, it is. I really hope this is the right path. So we have to turn around and go back up this. That would be devastating. But I'm just gonna work under the assumption we're on the right path. Check out this tree, lads. We're going off the path a little bit here because I think this is worth to see down here. Oh, that's a big spider. That's a big spider. Let's not go that way, shall we? Let's go around this way. Have a look at that tree. That is kind of impressive. Snapped off like 5 meters from the ground. Or actually, split in half, pivoted over itself, and then is being held up by that other tree a little down slope. That's really cool. Turning GoPro back on here because we had a very sudden change in environment. We've just gone from like full bushland to like subtropical rainforest or something in the course of like 10 meters. We've got like ferns and shit growing up on the hill. What the hell? This was such a sudden change in environment, I had to turn the GoPro back on. It might be because we dropped over the other side of a ridge line. So this is more protected from the sun on this time. On this side, allows more moisture to build up or something. But absolutely crazy how fast the fauna can change like that. Flora. I know the difference between flora and fauna. This doesn't even look like we're in the same bush we were literally like 30 seconds ago. What a change. You never know what you're gonna see, I guess. Just have a look down there. Just such a change in environment so quickly. Okay, lads, serious talk. As much as I hate to admit it, I think we have a problem with the pace that we're keeping. We're now just shy of 2 hours into this run, and we're only at the 11-kilometer mark, which is under halfway of where we need to be. And we're only 1.5 hours approximately away from when
Easter Monday lunch starts with the family. So although I would love to keep going here, and although I'm very confident we could do the whole 25k right now, I've already disappointed my family enough with the shit I get up to, so we're gonna make it to Easter Monday lunch on time. So I'll call Burb in a minute and she can come pick us up at Gold Creek Reservoir. But I think that's as far as we're gonna make it today. Unfortunately, I was far too overconfident with how well I could pace myself.
I will spare you the rest of the copium that I was dishing out at the time, but to summarise, in my practice runs around the neighbourhood I can do 10 kilometres in an hour, but I failed to take into account just how much elevation gain would be slowing me down on this particular route. So that's basically it. And the fact that I tipped out most of my water and barely had a few hundred millilitres, that also could have contributed just slightly. Anyway, we are not actually out of the bush yet, and before my rendezvous with Burb, I still have ample opportunity to make navigational errors. And that in the business is what we call foreshadowing. Let's skip ahead to near Gold Creek Reservoir.
There we go. Just through the trees there, you can see Gold Creek Reservoir. We'll get closer, but it looks very pretty. And all that water is making me thirsty. Here we are, Gold Creek Reservoir, hey? Let's go find Burb. Wait, where am I? We need to swing a right here, away from the water. Let's go find Burb, because I am desperately thirsty. Who would have thought that tipping out 3/4 of our water was a good idea, hey? God, I'm smart. Don't let anyone tell you that I'm not a freaking genius, lads. I have big brain, big brain. Wow, we have a proper like bitumen road. I mean, it's falling apart, but still a proper road. And we've actually got people, wow. Hey, car park off to the right by the looks of it. Any fresh water around? Some bloody greenhouses out here? Is that what I'm seeing right now? Oh, look at this. The temptation to drink. But I know Burb's gonna have water for me, so not much point. Let's keep going. I'm bloody delirious from dehydration. I've just done a bloody circle. What a way to end the run, by being a complete idiot. Hello, Burb. No, I'm done. I'm defeated. You got water in the car?
Not quite.
I'll take non-fresh water at this stage.
Okay.
I'm desperate enough.
Did you drink everything you had?
I'm not going to tell you what I did to the water I had.
No, tell me.
No, I don't think it's worth it.
No, I think you should tell me.
No, I don't think so.
Come on.
It was bumping every step against my back like this.
So you dumped it?
So I emptied half of it out. And by half, I mean 3/4. I will take non-fresh water.
Good. good to know for next time.
Yep, good experiment. So in the end, 17.77 kilometers in 2 hours and 58 minutes with an elevation gain of 242 meters. Average speed of 6.2 kilometers per hour.
So there we have it. I didn't quite make the 25 kilometers I had planned, but I'm still very satisfied with the result and enjoyed the run and the surrounding scenery immensely. Hit that subscribe button and stick around for when I inevitably upload my first successful half marathon video. See you guys out on the trails.